So, are you at the stage where you're trying to connect with your baby and talk to it, but you don't really know how? Okay, well, I'm about to give you guys 7 tips on how to talk to a baby, plus a couple things that you might want to avoid, right? Fair warning, the last one may shock you, all right? For everyone that's new, I'm Applewhite. I am a father of four, including a 1-month-old daughter who is ruling my world right now. Luckily, she's asleep because I wouldn't even be doing this video, right? Now, because I got this newborn, I'm having to relearn a lot of old lessons and a lot of new ones, right? As a dad, I have a lot of questions about what I should be doing with my baby, what's good for the baby, etc. I'm sure we all do. So whenever a question comes up, I do extensive research on that topic, right? I read, I research, I talk to other parents, and I test what I learn on my baby. And once I find what works, I share it with you all, right? Now, I say all that to say this isn't just me blabbing on the topic I don't know. If I get up here and say it, it's tried and true. And everything may not work for everybody, but I'm hoping that this works for you, right? Now, most of us think that talking to a baby is about teaching words. I know I did. My main goal was trying to get all my kids to understand what I'm saying, right? But babies aren't learning language first. Uh, what I learned is what they're learning is connection, right? And I didn't realize how wrong my approach was until I slowed down and actually paid attention to how she responded to me, right? Now, most people talk at babies, a lot of energy, big old reactions, constant just noise, right? But babies don't need to be talked at, they need to be talked with, right? Even before they can respond. Um, Doing that kind of changed everything for me, right? So here are my 7 tips on talking to babies in ways that actually build connection, starting with the biggest mistake that most of us make, including me. All right. So, number one, we talk too fast. Slow it down, right? Adults rush words the same way, we rush life. But babies don't process language at adult speeds. They feel rhythm before meaning, right? So when I slowed my voice down, not just my words, but my pace, right? I did that. When I did that, her body softened, right? Her eyes started to stay with me longer. Her breathing settled when I would actually talk to her, right? Slowing down wasn't about speaking better. It was about communicating safely in a way that she understood, right? Most people speed up to entertain. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, right? All that, right? But the slower you talk, the easier it is for your baby to connect. I slow down, I love you, I love you, right? So start with that, slow it down and see what happens. Two, we try to sound interesting instead of familiar, right? We exaggerate our voices because we think that babies want excitement, higher pitch, big expressions, constant stimulation. Hi, hi, oh, but babies attached to familiarity, not performance, right? When your baby was in the womb, your baby could hear you talking and is familiar with how you sound on an everyday basis because you were talking regular, right? So you now using this different tone and voice doesn't sound familiar and might actually confuse the baby, right? So think about that. When I use my normal voice instead of that made up voice I was making up, calm, steady, present voice, her response changed, and I think that's because she recognized me and not whatever act I was trying to put on. Familiar voices build trust long before babies understand words. Your babies know who you are, okay? So try to use those fluctuations only when they're appropriate, all right? And think about it. Would you want your baby to talk like that all the time? Dad! Like, no, right? So why are you, okay? Three, we forget to pause. Most people narrate nonstop. They fill every second with sound because their baby can't respond. So they feel like they got to rule the whole conversation. But conversation itself isn't built on noise. It's built on, spaces. I started pausing after I spoke, like as if I expected her to respond back to me, right? And even though she couldn't talk, a lot of times she did respond. She does respond now, right? She give me a movement, a sound, a look, right? That pause that I gave her taught her something before language ever could, right? Taught her that this is a relationship. It's call and response. If I say something to you, I'm expecting you to say something back to me, right? That's very powerful, especially early on. Okay? Baby, learn conversation. Number four, talk about what's happening in the moment, right? Adults love what's next, what we're about to do, what's coming later, right? I'm going to feed you, right? We're about to go to the doctor, like you telling your baby stuff in the future as if she understands the future or he understands the future, right? Babies live entirely in right now, and it's important for them to understand what's going on currently first, right? So instead of narrating the plan, start narrating the moment, right? Every moment. I'm picking you up. We're sitting down. I'm holding you. I'm putting on your shirt. It's dark. I'm turning on the light. I'm bathing you. I'm washing your hair. I'm changing your diaper. Even talk about the weather, your current environment, right? It's sunny outside. Wow, baby, do you see the snow? Oh my God, it's raining, right? See, by doing that repeatedly, your baby starts to match what you say with what's happening. And what does that mean, class? Yes, she's learning or he's learning, right? From it grounds my baby. And shit, honestly, it grounds me too. Because talking to a baby is also a reminder to slow yourself down, right? Got it? Cool. So, five, we try to fix emotions immediately instead of understanding the emotion, right? When babies cry, we rush to calm them. Shh, don't cry. We rush to stop the sound because we don't like it. But babies don't need emotions erased. They need emotions acknowledged, right? So instead of rushing it or, start saying, I hear you. I'm here when your baby's crying, right? Same situation, different reaction, different response, right? And when I did that, the connection deepens, okay? Babies understand empathy before logic or before you trying to shut them up, okay? Got it? Good. Number six, we underestimate repetition, right? I touched on this a little bit earlier, but adults hate repeating themselves. Babies, however, learn through it, right? It'll get annoying for parents. It will. That's just the truth. But the same phrases, the same tones, the same rhythms, is useful for the baby. Repetition builds predictability. Predictability builds safety, right? So repeating yourself isn't boring or, try not to look at it as annoying. It's bonding. Talk to your baby. Say the same things over and over and over again. Tell your baby, I love you all the time, right? I love telling my daughter how pretty she is. How much I love her, how smart she is, how strong she is. And all the other things I said repeat earlier, I repeat those things. They don't know what it means right now, but it'll be so deeply ingrained in her that when she actually learns what strong and smart means, it's already innate, right? Also, say your baby's name, okay? Like the nicknames are cute, but your babies need to start learning his or her name, right? Baby, 2 months old and got 1,000 nicknames. Say your baby's name and repeat that, okay? And last but not least, and this one is very important, don't be uncomfortable with silence, right? We think that we need to be doing more, saying more, fixing something, right? But silence isn't absence, it's presence. Some of the strongest moments of connections happen when I said nothing at all. Just being there, relaxing with the baby, breathing together, right? Babies feel presence long before they understand words, right? And Let's not forget, too much talking sometimes irritates the baby, and the baby will let you know, right? Once that baby start crying or trying to move away from you, that's pretty much your cue to shut the hell up. Okay? Take the hint. Give your baby some space. All right? As a dad, it's hard to admit, but we can be a little annoying sometimes as parents. It is okay. That's our job. But for the love of God, dads and moms, please find a balance. Stop irritating your baby with all that talk. All right? Anyway, the important takeaway is that babies learn when you slow down, speak natural, act natural, and talk in the moment. Repeat yourself and give it space. All right? And be honest, right? How many of y'all find yourselves doing the exact opposite of the tip that I gave you, right? Uh-uh. Don't say it to yourself. Subscribe and drop it in the comments. I'm Applewhite, and stay tuned for the next episode of Not a Bad Dad. I hope y'all learned something today. Peace.